Hey guys, what's going on? It's Roth and Joshua here. We've talked a lot about the Star Wars trailer.
Yes, 88 seconds is given way to many a conversation.
And yet they will continue. Today we're going to talk about a topic that we have internally been discussing amongst our very selves, and probably out there you guys have as well. But we haven't really dug into in a conversation here, so we will today, which is this thing right here.
Daisy Ridley.
Well, she's not the thing.
Is writing the thing we're talking about. This looks like our very own Eric Goldman was pointing out to us that this looks like a pod racer engine. Like, remember the dual engines of the pod racer, and they're connected by an energy beam, and had the pod back here that you said. And this looks like just one of the engines that she has like recommissioned somehow into a little speeder bike.
I was doing this. Yes, it looks like she has done this, which opens up a couple of doors of conversation for us. One is, okay, so one of the things that Daniel Krupa, who did the rewind for the trailer, pointed out in his rewind, is that it looks like there's the debris, the junk. Pod racer is sort of like junked out. It's gone out of fashion. It's gone out of style.
You can see them in the background when the soccer ball droid's rolling by. Yeah, there's decommissioned pod racers in the background.
R2 FIFA. Yes, you can see that in the background. So that's a couple of things. One, we know that Jabba is dead in episode 6, right? So this brings up some interesting points about Tatooine. Like, we see it a lot. Is the economy of Tatooine, which was based on sort of pod racing and gambling, has that collapsed after Jabba has died?
Yes.
Has it cleaned up a little bit in terms of the criminal element? And has this become even more than ever kind of a junk heap? Yeah,
it was desolate before, but now it is like you imagine the economies. Yeah, it's like dissipated. Like there's no more pod racing. This isn't pod racing anymore.
Yeah, or some other criminal element has risen up and it's sort of a different crime element.
Yeah.
But I think it seems to be the end of that. You know, sort of this based on the gambling and the pod racing.
Yeah, better double down on moisture farming while you can.
Double down on that business. So that brings up the point about Daisy Ridley. We don't know much about who she's playing, but it looks to us a little bit like it's possible that she's somebody that's kind of like a salvager, somebody who can kind of take things and retrofit them.
Yeah, like a tinkerer.
A tinkerer. That maybe a plot point for her could be that someone needs that kind of help and they go to her for that kind of help,
Normally they're just like, hey, R2, can you fix that? And he's like, and he does it. But now they're getting an actual person to fix their problems. Or, John Boyega is stranded on Tatooine. That's a big guess. I don't know. It looks like he's stuck on Tatooine.
Looks very
Maybe he'll meet up with her and be like, hey, I need a ship or something. She's like, oh, I've been working on the old rust bucket. I don't know. Anything could happen.
She also looks like she's fleeing from something as well. And so they possibly are just thrown together and sort of have to work together. We're extrapolating a lot.
Yes.
But
back to the pod racing element. It also feels like on a symbolic level of they're saying that that crazy lavish action scene, that like 10-minute long pod race, which I really liked in episode 1. I thought that was sort of a bright spot of that movie. It was just kind of a really fun, cool like a pod race. But they're saying that that's sort of in the past. That's in the background. That's decommissioned now. But it's also a kind of a nice wink and a way of acknowledging that the prequels, did happen, and that is a part of this universe by making her just ride one of the engines as a bike.
But I think it is very symbolic. You're right, because I think it's saying like, yeah, that did happen, but that is now sort of been junked and abandoned. It's in the background of these other very cool shots, and it also sort of brings back that grittier, lived-in, less sleek, rusty kind of flavor of those original films to this world. It kind of is very much like symbolically hearkening back to those original films, even though it's in the future.
Yes,
It's further in the future. So I think those are some of the things that we've extrapolated, which is a lot of things if you think about it from this one tiny shot with Daisy. She's maybe a salvager, she's maybe a junker. Pod racing is done. With Jabba gone, the economy of Tatooine has crumbled. And it's a big junk heap.
Yes.
All right, guys. Those are some of our thoughts. We have so many more on these 88. What more can we mine?
We'll find something.
We'll find something. You can count on that. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And definitely for all things Star Wars, keep it locked right here to IGN.